Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. Remember? That's what Maria said when she was teaching the children to sing Do Re Mi. And the very beginning in Puppyland is when you make the decision to get a puppy. You have decided, you and your family have decided that you're not going to bring home a senior dog, lovely as they are, and certainly they need people. You're not going to rescue, and you're not bringing home a shelter dog. You've made all those decisions, and they're certainly very valid ones because they're yours. You've decided you want to get a puppy. Now, where will you get this puppy? Perhaps your neighbor's dog has had pups. Perhaps you're going to buy a purebred from a breeder. Perhaps you're going to get a puppy from the SPCA because they have puppies dropped off to them with moms from time to time. There are many different sources to get a puppy, and there's just a couple of notes of caution that I would have for you about that. And one is please, please don't buy your puppy from a pet store. I think there's not so many pet stores now that sell puppies, and I'm really happy about that, but some still do. And while those puppies deserve a good home just like all others, when we buy from pet stores, we keep puppy mills, which are places that literally churn out a lot of puppies, and the females that live there are bred far too often, and conditions are way less than ideal. So when you buy from a pet store, you keep a puppy mill in business, so please don't do that. And the other place that people find puppies are online. And if it's close enough to you that you can go and visit, that will be just fine. But if you find an online puppy that is too far for you to visit before the pup's old enough to come to you, then one of two things. You need to either set up some sort of a Skype visit where you can talk to the people and see the mom and see the puppies and hopefully see the dad as well. And if not, then I would suggest to you that you perhaps, lovely as this puppy may be, I would suggest to you that you move on and find a puppy that is closer to you, because seeing a puppy in his birth home with his siblings and with his folks and with his dog parents is super important. It gives you so many clues as to the kind of puppy you'll be bringing home. And you know, it's important that you make a wise choice, because a puppy's not a disposable thing. You don't just go, oh, I'm tired, he barks too much, oh, I must get rid of him, or the kids have left home, well, we don't want a pup, we don't want a dog anymore. A puppy's a family member and a lifetime commitment. So you're looking at anywhere, depending on the size of the dog, anywhere up to 15 years and sometimes longer. So be sure you're ready for that when you consider getting a puppy. So all of those factors need to come into play so that you will, in fact, choose wisely. Before you bring your puppy home, you will have had a meeting about the fact that you're getting a puppy. And once that decision has been made, I'm sure everybody knows that there's a lot of work involved with a new puppy. What gets forgotten, though, especially if you've just recently lost your old dog, is you forget exactly how much is involved in getting a new puppy. Your family schedule, whatever it looks like now, just gets turned upside down. So you need to decide before the puppy comes home who will do what. Who will feed him, who will cuddle him, who will take him out in the morning, in the afternoon, who will do some training. Will everybody be involved? I hope. And so you'll make all those decisions. In fact, I would suggest you kind of do it on paper. But that said, be very flexible when your puppy does come home, because all those neat little things that you've written down are going to require more tweaking and adjusting, because the puppy it requires a lot more than you've even considered. But the big thing to remember is that no matter how much work, a puppy is tons of fun. And before you bring your puppy home, I would strongly suggest that you create a safe space for your puppy before he comes home. Do not allow your puppy access to your entire home. I repeat, do not, because I've said this so many times when I'm dealing with people who are having big issues with potty training. And what's happened is that they have let the puppy have the run of the main floor of their house. So we're having poop and pee in the living room, in the dining area, the kitchen, everywhere. So access to your home and his home is an earned privilege. And it generally will take 2 or 3 months before your pup has sufficient bladder and sphincter control to be allowed access to the full main floor of your house. I've said click here, but I'm not sure. I have some more homework to do. I'm not sure whether that will take you to my YouTube video on how to set up this safe space. In the event that it does not, I've put a link on the last slide, which you'll be able to cut and paste. And we all dream about having the kind of dog that's so well behaved that it always comes when it's called. We can walk down the street with the dog off leash and is right beside us. That's what we dream about. Well, the way you get there is by beginning your training right away. And by beginning your training right away, your puppy develops confidence, which is really important to him as an adolescent and an adult. But equally important is the bond and relationship that is developed between you and your puppy. So your puppy gets to do things because he wants to. That's important. Puppies are just like sponges. They learn a huge amount in the first 16 weeks of their lives. And whether we're training them or whether we're not, they learn. And so, because they watch us very closely. So, that said, be mindful of what you are rewarding with your puppy. For example, puppies all jump up. Well, you'll want to take note of how you behave when your puppy jumps up, because if he gets your attention by jumping up, he's going to continue to do that. But we're going to talk more about that in the weeks to come. So my word of caution here would just be mindful what behaviors you're rewarding. And a reward doesn't necessarily mean a treat. It could be just your attention. It could be a pat. It could be just the sound of your voice, even if you're yelling, which I hope you won't. But because sometimes the puppy just wants attention. And get training help. I can't put enough emphasis on this, because, if you haven't had a puppy before, or if you haven't had one for a long time, it gets very overwhelming. If you can find a local trainer who will come to your home and help you before you're ready to go to classes, then fabulous. If you watch Zach George videos on YouTube, he is fabulous. Young man, very positive, really builds a relationship with the dogs he works with. Just watch one anyway, whether you need to or not. And if you're a do-it-yourself kind of person and you want to be able to just have some guidelines, then my book, The Puppy Nanny's Guide to Training Your Puppy, will provide all that you need to teach your puppy basic manners, including leash walking and staying and all of those things. And again, I've put a link that I'm not sure works, so I have put a cut and paste link at the end. In the next 4 presentations, I'm going to talk more about your new puppy and his first weeks in your home, and I'm going to be giving you some puppy training tips that will be really helpful. So if you've got a puppy, be sure to watch for it. If you're getting a puppy, be super sure to watch for it. And if you know of somebody who's getting a puppy, tell them about it too. The thing to remember is that puppies are fun. And just in case those links didn't work, here's the link to the YouTube video on setting up a safe space for your puppy. You can just cut and paste that into your browser. And in order to buy my book, you can cut and paste that into your browser as well. That's it for now. I will be back next week with some more puppy training tips for you and your new puppy. And in the meantime, have fun. That's it for now. Ruff!